And American viewers will be able to watch this year's games across NBC's platforms and will be continuing to do so. In 2014, the International Olympic Committee awarded NBC Universal the U.S. media rights for the Olympic Games through to 2032 for more than $7.5 billion. Joining me now to talk more about this is Eric Fisher. He is the writer for Front Office Sports, who has covered the sports business space for more than 25 years. I mean, it's great to have you on the show.
Good afternoon.
So let's dive into this topic. I mean, NBC Universal is paying a lot in fees. You just heard me, tell our viewers a little bit about that. But what ultimately determines if the investment is an actual success?
So we'll look at ratings on the backside. That there are basically two primary metrics. Of course, ratings, viewership, just like your business operates. How many eyeballs are you getting? And then also ad sales, and that's one. And ad sales are a function of that viewership. And there are all sorts of guarantees and projections out there as to what this event is going to deliver in terms of an audience. And so NBC and the parent company Comcast have made that front end investment, and now they'll be looking to monetize on the back end.
And we know that NBC Universal, they have been broadcasting the Olympic Games for decades now, right? But digital streaming, it's been hugely popular. It's been rapidly expanding, right? And we see this with Peacock, as NBC has launched their digital media streaming platform. So how are we going to see them implement Peacock and digital streaming when it comes to the Olympics while also preserving their broadcasting traditions?
Yeah, so it's really sort of having your cake and eating it too. That Peacock, as you correctly indicate, is going to be a fundamental component of what the network will be doing as part of its coverage plan. Basically, pretty much everything is going to be on Peacock, and then you're going to have the marquee events that are also going to be on the broadcast and cable platforms. And so it's a little bit of sort of best of both worlds in terms of whatever you're comfortable with, but the broadest and deepest amount of content is going to be on Peacock.
And we're also seeing that NBC is leaning heavily into pop culture. Let's talk about this. So we have Snoop Dogg, Cardi B, Kelly Clarkson, and Peyton Manning all are among the names who will be a part of this coverage. Talk to me why this network is leaning so heavily into this space.
Again, it's a move to bring in more eyeballs, more viewership, and really expand out. The Olympics is one of these unique events that gets folks from all sorts of different demographics, all sorts of different walks of life. That a number of sports are really more for hardcore sports fans and your diehards. The Olympics really gets in not only just casual sports fans, but just casual viewers as well. And so bringing some of these other figures from other walks of pop culture, entertainment, what have you, is a move to sort of serve those audiences that, okay, we may not know who that gold medal candidate in a particular sport is going to be, but I know who Snoop Dogg is, or I know who Kelly Clarkson is, or what have you. And so it's really just Big Tent strategy.
But different time zones are playing a huge factor into the Olympic coverage, right? So how is NBC going to stay ahead of this, especially when it comes to viewers tuning in from around the world as we are looking at the broadcasting from NBC Network and digital streaming?
Yeah, so again, this is really where sort of having a cross-platform approach really serves well. That time zones are a challenge with any Olympics. It's a global event, and we only have the 4 time zones here in the continental United States, and the games are played elsewhere in the world, and trying to sort of marry those two things up, it's always a sort of a challenge. But in this case, again, if you want to sort of watch something live, Peacock's probably going to be your best bet. But then for some of those broadcast windows that conform with our time zones here in the continental U.S., you're going to see sort of highlights and other key moments sort of filtered into that broadcast coverage.
And earlier this year, World Athletics announced that they're going to be awarding $50,000 to each gold medalist at the upcoming Summer Olympics. What do you think fueled this decision? What do you think is going to happen after it's implemented?
There's certainly some thematic tie-ins to what we're seeing with the name, image, and likeness debate going, not really debate, what the movement going on through college sports, and a broader move to see athletes at those earlier levels compensated for the work that they do and the revenue that they bring in. And what we're seeing in some of these Olympic sports, and certainly World Athletics kind of at the tip of the spear there, it's thematically running along similar lines.
Well, Eric, thank you so much for joining me today.
Absolutely a pleasure. Thank you.